And welcome to my rant video. I lately have been making a lot of rant videos. I just have these things, these thoughts on my mind, want to share it with you. Perhaps you can help me get over what is upsetting me, and that's good. I don't need a psychiatrist. I need somebody like you who can offer a little assistance in the mentality psychiatric arena. I want to start by saying this quite honestly. I'm just going to be honest with you. I dislike the so-called black man. I don't like black men. I dislike black men. Within the last few years, whatever, I really don't like black men. They are very sickening to me, weak, pathetic, a bunch of cowards, lazy and trifling. Talk big, ain't gonna bust a grape. They don't impress me at all, period, whatsoever. I have had a very bad experience with so-called black men. At the same time, I don't want nothing to happen to them. I would not wish harm upon them. But truly, they are pathetic. Because actually they are males. Men do not behave the way they do. That's just the bottom line. They keep talking about how weak and emotional women are. There is nobody more emotional than these black men on social media. You can't have a decent conversation with them. You can't interact with them. You can't have a relationship with them because they're so emotional over crap. It's truly pathetic. It's just really, it's just really weak. I want to talk about these black men who claim their baby mama won't let me see my children. See, just that statement makes me sick. There is no woman. If I have children with a woman, she is not going to deny me access to my babies. If that's the case, then we must go to war. You're not going to keep me from my babies. But see, the reality is, these black men don't fool me. I've seen this. I've experienced it. I've seen it. And they do not trick me. Most of them do not give a damn about their children. Man, that's what they really want. So when you see them come back into the house, I thought you want to see your children. Why are you bothering the mama? Because that's what it's all about. They're not interested in those babies. They're not interested in those children. You don't have to make $1 million. Children don't care nothing about money. I want to see my daddy. I want to see my father. That's free. Not talking about child support. You should want to support your children. If you support your children, then you and your baby's mama, y'all don't have to mess with the courts. But you have to go through the courts. She has to go through the courts because a lot of times she is on welfare, and the welfare folks require that she tell them who the father of these children are. That's just the bottom line. You're not taking care of the children, so something must be done. You already know this. You want somebody to sit around here and cry, oh, black men have suffered so much. You a man, take it. That's all I can do, is I can take it. You're not no man. You a whining, crying, pathetic piece of crap. I'm a man. Black men, so much is on them already. We don't need to. They're not, a man can take it. How pathetic would it be if you seen a lion and you heard a lion crying and complaining, telling he couldn't take it? That's his purpose. That's his job. That's what he was designed for. But see, y'all niggas was nothing but damn slaves. And all your courage and any kind of manhood that you had was taken from you. Our ancestors was butt raped by these Caucasian people. You get butt raped when you go to prison. You get mentally butt raped. You're a rape victim. That's why you're so pathetic and weak and emotional. You're more emotional than any woman could ever be. I've seen and been around women very more stronger than most of these men that I come in contact with. If you really wanted to see your children, how a woman going to stop you from seeing your babies? I remember as a child in family court, and this judge was asking this guy, you know, sir, if you don't pay your child support, I might have to put you in jail. Do you know what this black man said? I would rather. And see, this is the reality of it. This black man told this Caucasian judge, I would rather go to jail than pay one nickel of child support. And here I am, a little boy, maybe 9 or 10 years old. I forgot how old I was. And I'm listening to another black man. This is what I'm supposed to grow into. I heard this full-grown adult black man tell a judge, I would rather go to jail than pay a dime to support my child. So what do you think, what kind of effect do you think that had on my mind as a little boy? And then as I become older, I actually see this continue to go on. And now here you are on social media, these black men, crying and whimpering. My baby mama won't let me. You don't want. If that was the case, you would see long lines at the family court of black men trying to get custody. Another reason why these black men can't take care of themselves. They can run around, get women pregnant, and that's stupid on that part, because I would not lay down with you, but they did. These black men can't take care of themselves. So how are they going to get custody of a child? They can't even take care of themselves. And some of them who can take care of themselves, they taking care of another man's babies. Because he in love with the new woman now. Y'all know how this ragged cycle goes round and round. The same crap never stopped. It was going on when I was a child, and it's still going on. Then these pathetic black men want to talk about how the court treats women. The reason why the court treats women the way they do, or you think that women have a advantage in court, is because of what men have done. All the laws that dictate family court, no woman created. All the laws, all the policy, everything about it was created by men. But you want to attack the women. The women this and the women do that. The women did not create none of the laws, none of the policy regarding family court. You want to attack somebody that had nothing to do with custody. Attack the judge. Attack the male judge. Attack the male law makers. You just ignore them. Them women do this. And then when y'all so pathetic and whimpering and whining and crying, I really can't take it. Making this video is sickening because they just tacky to me. They just tacky. I don't like. So that's why when they call me, talk about I'm a homosexual, it's really laughable because I don't like men, period, at all. I don't like you. You too weak. You cowardly. You keep calling people simps and manginas. You should know because it takes one to know one. You should know what a simp is because that's exactly what you are. You know what a mangina is because that's exactly what you are. I ain't never been around so many crybabies. So you can't hardly talk to them. They get off. I'm offended. You disrespect me. These crackers have been disrespecting and offending black men going on 500 years. And you have yet to do anything about it except be emotional and cry and whine. And get your ass kicked. That's all. You want to try to prove that you're a man by threatening other black men. Another victim. That's what they do. So, I'm speaking on the podium. I have my wife and children in the house. I don't have a gun. And you want to come up and shoot me in the chest. That really shows. See, that was cowardly. That's cowardice. There's nothing brave about these black men. I don't see nothing brave. I'm a god. I'm a warrior. I'm a king. Where? Show me. Where your bravery at? You a king or what? What country you rule? You a god. What kind of power do your Negro self have? Y'all live in fantasy land, fiction land, delusion land. You talk a big game, but you're not going to bust the grape. We know that you're not going to bust the grape. Now you might say, I won't bust the grape. It makes no sense for me to bust the grape by myself. Because I won't get the benefit. If there's benefit, your coward ass will be in the background and you'll get the benefit. Just like those guys that went and shot them cops. There was no benefit. And if there is a benefit, they won't enjoy none of it at all. Period. And the ones who do benefit don't appreciate what they done. Because y'all a bunch of lazy, good for nothing, cowards, pathetic, whining simps, imps, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not impressed. So that's why a lot of them stay away from me because all that puffing up your chest and talking all this stuff, you know I don't go for it. You don't impress me at all. I know exactly who and what you are. You don't fool me in the least. And if you do get over on me, something will bring the real you out into the light to see exactly who and what you are. Weak, pathetic, comfortable living with racists. That's what you really are. You're really comfortable living with racists. My baby mama won't let me see my children. Just for that to come up out of your mouth, that shows how pathetic. I've never heard Caucasian men speak like that. Never. Here you are. You supposed to be a god and a king. My baby mama won't let me see my... She won't let me. You have to have her permission. And you call yourself some kind of man. Get there. Oh. Wow. What I want to question today is this teaching that we get from various places, but I know that I got it from the Nation of Islam. And I was taught in the Nation of Islam that the nature of the black man is righteousness. Whatever righteousness is to them. I don't know what righteousness is. I don't know how righteousness could be a nature. Because anything that is natural to you, it is programmed in that life form, and you don't have to be taught. So since you don't have to be taught, then although you have a cow, and that cow is domesticated, although that cow has become a slave to its massa, the massa cannot enslave the nature of the cow. So the cow is going to be a cow. However, if you really want to see the true nature of the cow, you cannot study the cow on a farm. You cannot study the cow while the cow is under servitude to some human being. You must study the cow in its natural environment, whereas the cow is independent. It has never been influenced by people. It is just living the life that it naturally was born into. So, the black man is righteous by nature. That means you have somebody who have studied black folks in their nature, their natural environment, outside of the influence of Europeans, outside the influence of religion, because religion is taught. It is not natural. There is no baby that is born that's going to tell you later on about Allah or Jesus or anybody. The baby must be taught these things. That which is natural does not have to be taught. The flip side of this also is that the nature of the Caucasian people is wickedness, evil, unrighteous behavior. So that means you have somebody that was there that could study Caucasian people in their natural environment. You have no one that can say they studied black folks in a natural environment, nor can you say that there was somebody around that studied Caucasian people in their natural environment. By no means do you think I'm going to sit here on social media and defend Caucasian people. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is presenting to you or exposing to you what is pure nonsense. Well, brother, you know, all the things that the Caucasian people have done, they got to be evil. The Caucasian people, racist, pink people, whatever you want to call them, they have done nothing no different than any other conqueror. Show me what they have done outside of the regular, what someone would do if they conquered another people. They have done nothing no different. well, look at all the people they killed. All these other folks before them, if they had the technology, they would probably have done the same thing. I don't see no difference. Because if the nature of the Caucasian people really is evil and wickedness, you explain to me why when some Caucasian people are raised among black folks, they have a different attitude. Matter of fact, if you didn't know any better, you could hear them talk like I did in the back of the bus. You would even know that they were Caucasian until you looked at them, because they sound like and act like and carry themselves and behave just like the black people they were raised among. But if it's their nature to be evil, just because they was raised among black folks, it would not stop it. And it's the same thing vice versa if you flip it. Black folks act like Caucasian people if we are raised among them. What is this nature? Nature is something that is natural to that person. Just like I was telling us about the cow. A cow is going to be a cow. If the nature of the black man, as you say, really is righteous behavior, then why you have no problem with killing other black folks? Why you have no problem with lying and slander and gossip and all these other things of evil that you do day in and day out, getting drunk, getting high? If that was your nature, the nature of a cow is to only eat vegetation. You will never see a cow wanting a steak, because that's not the cow's nature. It was not born, it's not designed for that. You have no problem telling a lie on somebody. You have no problem with gossip and slander and murder and rape and all these other things of unrighteous behavior. You see it on social media every day. How many of you are disrespectful and profane and vile and nasty? If it was your nature, you would have a problem with that. You don't have no problem with that. How many black folks kill other blacks every day and you have no remorse at all? But if righteousness was your nature, how come it's so easy for you to do it? You want to tell me about how evil Caucasian people are. Look at how all the things that they have done. Yes. But you're not going to tell me that if these so-called black folks didn't have the same type of technology, you're going to tell me they wouldn't do the same when they do get the technology, when you get a gun in your hand, or if you get a YouTube video, the first thing you want to do is slander and gossip on somebody. If you get a gun in your hand, you're going to shoot another black man or anybody in the head. You cuss every day, you're profane, and you're vile, and you're nasty, just like they are. But if it was your nature, you would not see that. Don't bring me your garbage. Nothing but another form of racial supremacy that you cannot prove. Just like the pink racists can't prove that supremacy garbage from their side. When you start talking all this, oh, black folks are so righteous and black folks are so goody two shoes, you can't prove it on your side either. You have no proof of that. Bunch of manufactured, fabricated garbage. And when somebody call any of y'all racist wannabes or pink racists on your stuff, you can't prove nothing. It's a bunch of fabricated lies. How superior can you be? Because all of y'all gonna end up in the grave. Cremated, buried in the ground, wherever. You gonna, whatever it is, you're not gonna stay here. So what's so superior about you? You can't beat death. You're not stronger than an elephant. You can't fly on your own like the canary bird. What's so supreme about you? Why? Because you made up a TV? Because you drive a car that poisons the air? Your TV that spits out all kinds of radiation? And some of you that's sensitive, cause your eyes, you almost go blind trying to watch TV? What's so supreme about you? Because you're a supreme idiot? Black and white. I don't see no difference between you. Both of you foolish and silly. You so involved in your supremacy and being whatever this is that you want to be. You have yet to become human. This is nothing. This skin color, this flesh is nothing. That does not give us value. We get value when we understand our true nature. But when you talk on all this racial supremacy garbage, which does not have a leg to stand on, regardless to your skin color, you only go backwards in evolution. You don't go forward. You have a brain that is complex and it is superior over the other forms of life, but you don't know how to use it to its greatest capabilities because you're too busy trying to prove that you're better than the other human being. When it's all said and done, if you created Facebook, all the human beings enjoy it. If you created a car, everybody on the planet likes to drive a car. So what? You just want the credit. I did it. I did it. There are many things that we do right now, we don't even know who to give the credit to. But when we become a racist in our mind, racism has made us so dang sick. It has made you really sick. You hate for no reason. You dislike for no reason. You will kill for no reason. I just shot him because he was a nigger. No other reason. And you're going to tell me about the nature. If your nature, I knew or heard of this lady. And no matter what happened, she just smiled. Always smiling. Because that's just the way she was. That was her nature. No matter what happened, no matter how good or how bad things happen, this woman she just maintained this smile. You could throw her in prison. You could beat her. It didn't make no difference. She just smiled. That's just her nature. If righteousness was the real nature of the black man, as y'all say, then we would see it. But you don't. If righteousness was the real true nature of the black man, you would be united. Because your righteousness would unify you because of simple love. But you don't love me. You don't love him. You don't love her. Because you're not righteous. Never have, never was. If righteousness, if the nature of the black man was peace and love and righteousness, Africa would have been united. So when the Europeans attacked the African continent, all of them as a unifying force would have drove them back, but they were not united. That's why the Europeans was able to go into Africa and do what they done and still continue to do to this day. Don't bring me that. The nature of the black man is righteousness. That's a dang lie. There's no proof to it. And I don't need no more proof than watching your behavior in 2016 right now. There's nothing righteous about you. So you mean to tell me that the men who picked up guns, shotguns, and pistols and shot Malcolm X dead, who was unarmed in front of his family, their nature really was righteous? Yeah, get out of here. They did it because their nature was not righteous. If your nature was righteous, it would be hard as I don't know what to shoot down a man in broad daylight in front of his children like that. You can take your fantasy and fictional stories to other folks and make them feel good. I live and understand the reality, and I see it every day. And when you bring that madness this way, I'm going to tell you, don't bring that garbage here. Welcome to another edition of what I call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, and I am the host of this program. I am known as the Mighty One, Angel Snubbing Up 7. I would like to just speak briefly about a topic that I really feel some of us need to understand or have more clarification on, understanding or clarification on exactly where do we stand. I want to begin our talk by saying this. There's a movie that came out in the 1970s, and it is online on YouTube and perhaps many other places. It was a movie called The Spook That Sat by the Door. One of the scenes in that movie, one of the persons was saying that, or expressing how they really hated the white man. They hated the white man with a passion. And he was part of this revolutionary movement in Chicago. He was speaking to the leader of that movement, and the leader of that movement told him, "Do you believe this is about hate whiting? This is not about hate whiting. This is about freedom, real freedom, and justice, equality. I want freedom, I want justice and equality to the point where I am willing to die for it. That's what this is about." Of course, I would add the emotion of hate. You can use that if you can control that emotion, of which most of us cannot do that. You use that emotion, that anger, in order to give you that energy so that you can do what you need to do. But it is not about hate whiting. It's about simple justice. And that is what this ministry represents. It is not about the superiority of the black people. You never hear me talk about, the melanin this and the black is supreme and the origin of the Caucasian people, the origin of the black folks and all this kind of stuff. You never hear me talk about it, because all one really should want is to be the hell left alone. Leave me alone so I can be happy. As in the Constitution of this nation, talking about the ability to pursue a life of happiness. That's all what it's about. Unfortunately for us, race is a factor, because that's what put us in this condition. Somebody has the mentality that they are superior, supreme over another person because of their skin color. I give credit where credit is due. I'm not interested in racial supremacy. It's about justice. Now, I've talked to some people, and not only this person, but many of you out there in TV land, you're so blackety black, 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 pro-black. I want to ask you this question before I conclude with this talk. You keep talking about my race. You keep talking about how superior you are over other people. Let's deal with the race issue. I was taught that the black man is God, and the black man has no beginning or ending. Thus, black people cannot be a race, because a race has a beginning and an ending. Since nobody knows the beginning of the black man and woman on this planet, we are not a race. So why do you call yourself black? Black is a race. Why do you call yourself all these other things? These things that you talk about, Hebrew Israelite Kemetic teachings, and even the Muslims, all that stuff had a beginning. But yet you're not part of a race. And you're not a potential racist. Brothers and sisters, see, the problem that I have is that I was incarcerated. And really, I did not have to be incarcerated. But being incarcerated unjustly, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I would not want to see no one punished unjustly, like the many kinds of people, I can't say hundreds, but every year there's somebody who was innocent that comes out of these jails and prisons in America, and they serve 10, 20, 30 and more years. You don't know what that's like, but yet it's still because of your hatred. Like this guy that was in this movie. You're not interested in justice, because you're just like the racists. You would deny another person freedom, justice, and equality because it was denied to you. So that makes you no better than the people that you complain about. And then you sit around and talk about, oh, the melanin is so superior, and what Egypt did, and the Caucasian people were living in caves and they was eating meat and raw, and you making mockery of folks and whatever. You're no different. You're the same as they are. You want to show how better, greater, superior. In fact, the black man is God. Not the Chinese man, not the Caucasian pink man, not the Native American people. No other so-called race on this planet. The black man is God. But yet and still, what is so ironic is that the people that just came out of caves whoop your ass and have you in an inferior, pitiful, pathetic position, and you can't even get out, but you're God. You're a bunch of racist wannabes. I have to say wannabes because a racist actually has the power. They control media, they control education, they control employment, they control all the facets of life, and they can take their racist attitude and they can implement that upon those of whom they deem as inferior. But the black God, y'all can't do nothing. So only thing you can do is sit back and hate and be emotional, because you can't do nothing else, and just be a racist wannabe. I can't get into that. I can't get into treating somebody unjustly. I don't care who they are, unless you can prove they deserve death, unless you can show really that they deserve the punishment that you wish to put upon them, not simply because they Caucasian. How many of you, and you're a bunch of hypocrites, how many of you have been pulled over by a Caucasian police officer, and then the police officer decides, I'm not going to give you a ticket? I'm not talking about the crackers who are crazy. So you telling me that the Caucasian police officer that decided, okay, so I'm going to give you a warning, I'm going to let you go. That Caucasian person deserves the death penalty, just like the Caucasian person that would shoot one of us in the street simply because we have dark skin. That's not fair. That's not right. I can't. Call me a coon, call me a salmon, call me whatever you want to. You can't justify that type of behavior. You're just like them. You're a racist wannabe. Matter of fact, black and even African, all that comes from out of racism. There is no dark-skinned people, and I keep saying this, and nobody, none of the big shots, nobody has proved that any dark-skinned people prior to the Europeans called themselves black or African. You're one of them. You're a racist. That's why you call yourself black and African, because you're a racist. You're just like them. And I can't get with it. So you can't like me, because I will treat everybody fair. The wicked will get their punishment, but those who did not do those things should not be punished. How can we determine that? Very difficult. Because I don't have time to distinguish a good snake from a bad snake. So like I said in previous videos, the so-called good Caucasian people, you need to show that exactly who and what you are. Otherwise, because we're surrounded by snakes and we're not a snake expert, all of them got to go. That has nothing to do with hate. That's being cautious. That's being smart. And Caucasian people have a history of saying one thing, doing another, smiling in your face, and will stab you in the back. I did not do that. So they have a problem, but yet and still at the same time, I'm not going to deny you justice. I'm going to be fair and just and with you as much as possible. I'm not going to lie on you. I'm not going to try to hurt your feelings. I'm not going to murder you for no reason. But there are many blackity black folks. They have the same mentality as you have, murdering the innocent. So just like a certain group of Caucasians blew up that church in Montgomery, then I guess these ignorant black racist wannabes, they will go to a Caucasian church and blow up that church and kill Caucasian children. Have the same type of mentality. And so don't put me in that group. Freedom, justice, and equality. I don't want to be like those of whom I complained about. Because you see where that got them. Do you want to go to the same place? And I'm not talking about the fictional hell. Look, there's no peace for them. Jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. Asking questions. The only people who get very angry and upset with people that ask questions are criminals and those who are trying to deceive, those who are loyal to something, and they don't want to hear the truth that has been discovered because they put all that they have into what is now and have been proven to be false. But for some reason, I just got to hold on. It cannot be false. I'm going to believe it to the day that I die. That is so, I have never been interested in being loyal to anything or anyone. I'm only loyal to what I call real truth. And because we have been living in what religion calls darkness for so long, and our truth is being revealed to us little by little. In fact, we may not know the full truth, until ages after you and I have left this world. But in the meantime, whatever real truths that we have been, as they say, blessed with to be exposed to, then we should embrace that, but we don't. And under religious text, it says that the truth shall set you free. So the Hebrew Israelites speak truth, but are they free? No. The black Muslims say they have truth, but are they free? No. The Jehovah's Witnesses say they have truth. Are they free? No. Or anybody that's teaching, I have the truth, are they free? You have thousands of followers, lots and lots of money, lots and lots of people who will help you do whatever you want to do. But you do everything, but you cannot get free. You are no example like that of the Jesus found in your scripture, because the Jesus found in the scripture was in this world, but not of this world. And clearly, we can't tell you from somebody in the world or outside of the world. You blend in perfectly with this world because you're a liar, you're a thief, you're a deceiver. You're all the things that that those of whom you talk about, you're the same, just like they are. There's no difference. We cannot tell. We cannot tell you that you are in this world and not of this world. Cannot tell. You blend in. Things that make you say, I want to talk about. There's a group of persons. I run into them all the time. I interact with them all the time, and they are obsessed with Africa. Let's go back to Africa. I'm African. If you reject Africa, you don't like me. Well, I guess I don't like you because I'm not into that African stuff. And quite honestly, I remember when I first became exposed to a group of people who began to say that the African American, we are not Africans. When I first began to hear that, I was like you. These are people who they shame to be from Africa and so forth and so forth. But see, I am not like you. I always, when somebody brings me something, I don't just reject it because I don't like it. I have to take in consideration that what they're saying, it might be true. So I listen to what they have to say and begin to examine and study. I began to wipe it down and flip it and all that, you know. And so I come up with this conclusion. And I began to really think about it. And these questions must be answered in a manner so they can pass the criteria of logic, being rational, reason, common sense, and how factual is the information. Now, these people who want everybody to be Africans. Now, this is not to say that this country did not import African slaves. I'm very sure that's true. There's no doubt that's true. But to say that the majority, that's what we are Africans, I don't know about all that. That has to be questionable. The first question that's raised is, where are you really getting all this African stuff from? You're getting it from the same people that you claim is a devil. The same people that you claim is the ultimate liar. Now, how come the white man, who is a liar and a deceiver, this is what you say of Caucasian pink people. They are liars and they are deceivers. Now, if they are like this, then when they say that the descendants of slaves born in America, that we are Africans, or our ancestors were Africans, Now they liars, but when they say that, you just automatically say, yep, they're right about that. But they are liars and deceivers. It would be more beneficial for them to call you an African, so you will be concentrating like you are, concentrating and looking toward Africa, when in reality, your home has always been here. Mathematics. Y'all always tell me about mathematics. So I start thinking about mathematics. Mathematics does not support the idea that the so-called African American is indeed your and my ancestors came from Africa, the mass majority. Some, again, let me make it very clear. Some, in fact, if you look at me, perhaps a lot of my ancestry, just by looking at me, could be African or from the islands or something like that. When I go among Africans and brothers and sisters from the islands, they embrace me, especially if I add a little accent. They can't tell me. They can't tell me from if I was born on the continent or the islands. They can't tell that I was an American Negro. They can't tell that I was born in America. So that's just by looking. I don't know. I really don't care. What I really care about is actually the oppression, the injustice that a person like myself have to face day in and day out because of the color of my skin and the way that I look. And there's a hatred and a bias and discrimination. I could really care less where my ancestors come from at this point in time. But y'all believe this Caucasian man that you claim that is a liar, he's telling the truth when he's telling something that agree with the stuff that y'all believe in. And that's all it is a belief, because you really don't know. The Caucasian people, if they open up the records, they could tell you exactly. You don't have to guess if you're a black Muslim. You don't have to guess if you're a Hebrew Israelite or a Kemite or whatever you think that you are. These Caucasian people, the only thing they have to do is open up the records and they can tell us exactly what the deal is. But they would rather you be in confusion, because confusion keeps you and me divided. And that's the bottom line. And like King Noble said, that's a fact. When you look at so-called black people in this nation during the beginning of slavery, mathematics tell us the population grew too fast for us to be shipped from Africa. It's too fast. The population growth. Black folks, a woman can have a baby once every 9 months. And that's a give and take. She might be able to have a baby back to back, and she might not. Many women die in childbirth, especially during that period of time. The population here, it grew too fast for people to be shipped on a boat that the majority of a good percentage of the cargo would die. They can't make the trip. Then, a woman, you must care for a woman, because if you don't treat a woman right, she's easily to miscarriage. So you have these slave women, they're being mistreated. How many of them suffer miscarriage? The population growth, something here is wrong. The only way you could have slavery the way that it was in early America is that the slaves were already here. The only thing they had to do was be rounded up. When it comes to these race categories, don't you know that at one time, and I believe it still is in existence, don't you know, when we talk about Caucasian people, we automatically think about the white folks. That's not necessarily true. Because those of us who have studied a little of this, you know that you can be a dark-skinned people and be a Caucasian. Oh, yeah. So, here you are, a liar and a manipulator, who is looking in the future. And you have a people that no longer know their ancestry, you have hindered the ability for them to pass on their family information from one to another. You separate and divide families. How easy for your enemy to tell you that you're an African when you already been here, because these people have the power to classify you any way they want to. So let us classify these native black people that were already here. We call them Indians. And this one really made me think about it, because I began to look at some of my old family photos, and I remember the pictures of Geronimo and some of those Native Americans. They were very dark-skinned people. They call them red people. Now, see, this is the thing. Now, if you look at me right now, I'm dark-skinned, but I have a reddish tinge. Many African people, brothers and sisters from Africa, a lot of them are dark-skinned, but they have a blue tinge. Many of us African Americans, we are light-skinned, and a lot of us are dark, but a lot of us have this redness to us. Don't they call the Native American people the red man? But they weren't really red. It was dark-skinned, and they looked reddish. They were red, had a red hue to them, but they was dark-skinned. I've met many Africans, and they were very dark, but they had their hue was blue, dark or dark blue. I have a problem with this whole black folks, all of us is African thing, because I understand the benefit to the races that we call ourselves Africans, so that we don't make a claim to this land. They put us in these categories. You have to think about this, but we don't. So many of us treat this like a religion. I believe we all Africans. Every dark-skinned person on this planet, all of us basically, technically are Africans, since we came from that continent. But we're not. We're no longer that, because we're no longer on that continent. That continent has split. At one time, since the so-called black man is the original man, and at one time, this whole landmass probably was one chunk at one time. Then as time went on, it began to separate. We being the original people, we were on all of it at one time. So we are native to the whole earth. I don't know why you want to be just an African when you are native to the whole planet. Unlike some of these other so-called races. Jot down your comments. Talk about it. Think about it. Don't you call these pink people tricksters? Then why don't you take that into consideration and reevaluate this African thing? Till next time, y'all. Peace out.